4-137NA for a second review and a permanency planning hearing. May I have the names of our participants, please? Starting with our guardian ad litem, who's just logging in. Welcome, Ms. Underwood. Good timing. If we could have your appearance whenever you're ready.
Good morning, Nicole Underwood, lawyer, guardian ad litem. My apologies.
Apologies.
Good morning, Your Honor. Troy Tipton appearing on behalf of the Department of Health and Human Services. Ashley Beach is the foster care supervisor from Fostering Solutions. She's standing in for Megan Latour, who is the foster care specialist.
Welcome.
Ashley Beach, I'm the foster care supervisor assigned on a case.
Katarina Dumont for Mr. Long, the father.
Tyler Long.
And then it looks like Ms. Hardy, if we could have your name for the record.
Robert Hardy.
And you had a, it looks like a Brandy Thompson. And I don't see her here or logged in. Were you expecting her to be here today?
Yeah. Robin, probably Lyon.
So we have a Michelle Ford logged in. Would you like to be this morning?
Yep, I'm Michelle Ford. I am the therapist for Tyler, Robin, and Aaliyah from Centerpoint Counseling.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your patience this morning. I know we're getting started.
That's good.
All right, Deputy, introduce you swear in Ms. Robin Hardy for us, please. Actually, why don't you go ahead and do Ms. Beach as well as Mr. Long and Ms. Ford, because we'll probably be hearing from them eventually.
You can all remain seated, but raise your right hands, please. Do each of you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Right, thank you all. Okay, Ms. Hardy, we're going to start with you. You, of course, have the right to an attorney for each and every one of these proceedings, and typically we have somebody from the public defender's office. You have a retained attorney, which is great, but she's not here. So you are able to proceed on your own, representing yourself, or we would have to look at adjourning the hearing as it relates to your updates on your case services plan and what's been happening with yours. If your attorney is not going to be representing you anymore, we could contact the public defender's office and ask them to assign you someone. So if you want to proceed on your own, obviously you're not an attorney. I'm not going to expect you to perform as an attorney, but you would have to make decisions such as if you wanted any questions asked of the caseworker, you'd have to do that yourself. Anything that you wanted to testify to, you wouldn't have an attorney there to talk with them about that ahead of time. So what are your thoughts?
I would like my attorney to be here. I'm not sure. She hasn't talked to me, so I'm not sure what's going on.
Okay. Do you have your phone with you today?
Yeah.
All right. So why don't we do this? Let's let Ms. Underwood give us her updates, and then we'll get started with case updates as it relates to Mr. Long, and we'll let you step out to see if you can get her a call.
Okay.
So, but I'd like you to wait until after Ms. Underwood gives her updates so you can at least hear that first. Okay. All right, Ms. Underwood, if you want to go ahead with your report whenever you're ready.
Sure, thank you, Your Honor. And there may be some confusion too, because I know this hearing had to be adjourned. So it could have been a calendar issue. I'm not really certain, but I was able to meet with the minor children. It was via Zoom this time. They were in the home of their placement. The younger child is doing very well. He's growing. He was surfing the furniture, and the things in the house looked like he was getting ready to start walking if he hadn't already. Doing very well, and seemed to be meeting his milestones and with the services that are in place for him. The older daughter also seemed to be doing well. She tends to struggle with adjusting to certain things at times, I think, but I think that's normal considering the circumstances. But she is thriving well in her placement. Again, it is a family placement. And the fact that she does get extended parenting time with both parents is good for her and for the younger child. Their needs are being met. It is the least restrictive environment at this time and serving in their best interests. I still think they're a little too young to express a preference, but again, the oldest child is old enough to say that she loves her parents, wants to be home with them. But again, I don't know that she's of the age to really understand what's going on at this time. Thank you.
Okay, so Ms. Hardy, would you like to step out to see if you can get a hold of your attorney, and then we'll start with the updates on Mr. Long's case?
Yeah, I can do that. Thank you.
Okay, come on back in whenever you're ready, and
Okay.
I'll just ask you for an update.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, well, Mr. Tipton, that sort of directs where you're going next, but how would you like to proceed?
Proceed with some testimony from the speech.
Absolutely. Come on up to our witness stand. You are under oath.
You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I did. Double affirmed today. Seriously.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Tipton.
Good morning, Ms. Beach.
All right.
You're a foster care supervisor assigned to this case,
I am.
standing in for Ms. Latour.
Yes.
Okay, and Ms. Latour submitted a court report packet that included an updated court report dated September 22nd, 2025. That included a case service plan for the family, foster care supported visitation, and home parenting, education reports, weekly progress reports, Rising Township Police Department report, and drug screens. Are there any additions, corrections to that report?
Yes, there was also an early on evaluation submitted with that packet
Okay, I'm
For
sorry, I
Rowan?
didn't see that. Okay,
for the youngest child.
okay,
And then we also submitted additional exhibits on October 17th. We received them on October 16th. It's a letter from Trinity Health regarding treatment for mother, and then appointment summaries and drug screens for mother.
we'll just wait for mom's portion to deal with that, but in regards to the father.
Mr. Tipton, I'm just gonna interrupt you for 1 second because Ms. Hardy's back. Have you heard
Oh,
from your?
oh,
were you
I had
connected
her
with
on
her?
the phone. She said she got the wrong time, but she said she can go on Zoom if she can get a link sent to her.
Okay, do we have the Zoom instructions? Can text her the Zoom number
Are
perhaps?
you able
or-
to maybe take a photo of that? and
Yeah.
send it to her? You can have it shot.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, thanks, Ms. Hardy. Go ahead, Mr. Tipton.
Okay. In regards to the father, how has he been in regards to compliance with the treatment plan?
He has been compliant this reporting period. He is engaging in weekly individual therapy with Michelle Ford. And he's also recently started participating in couples counseling with Ms. Hardy. He also participates in parenting time visits and completed the Orchard Supportive Visitation Program just recently. And then he maintains his employment and housing is stable.
Parenting time with the children have gone well.
We have not had any concerns reported this reporting period. The majority of the visits are supervised by the relative caregivers.
Good.
But Orchards, the visitation worker from Orchards was doing one per week, and the worker did not have any concerns regarding parenting.
Regarding his parenting time, you have a recommendation?
We would, just based on positive reports that we've received this reporting period and not having any concerns reported to us about how visits are going or interactions between father and children, we would like to have the discretion to allow some unsupervised parenting time and start giving some unsupervised parenting time and seeing how those visits go.
Does this visit occur alone, or does it visit with Ms. Hardy?
Both parents visit together.
Okay. And he has suitable housing for the children?
Yes.
Okay. And since this is a permanency planning hearing, is your recommendation still reunification for
Yes.
for the father?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess I'll wait for the mother and her attorney to arrive for our move for the admission of the report, if that's okay. Okay, thank you. I have nothing further in regards to the father.
Okay. Ms. Yvonne?
Ms. Beach, is there any other services that Mr. Long needs to comply with? It sounds like he's completing all of his key service plan at this point.
I think he's compliant with participating in the services. We'll just want to see continued benefit from services through positive reports from Ms. Ford, and making sure that he's following the recommendations from his psychological evaluation, which has been provided to Ms. Ford.
Okay.
I'm going to interrupt you for just a second because it does look like Ms. Brandy Thompson has joined us. Would you like to give us your appearance?
Good morning, Your Honor. Brandy Thompson on behalf of the mother, Robin Hardy, and I sincerely apologize. I had this on my calendar for 1:30 and was planning on being there in person today. I'm not sure how I missed that, so I sincerely apologize. It's my fault.
Apology accepted. So she did ask that we allow her to reach out to you. And so really all you've missed is the LGAL's update. And then some testimony from Ms. Beach about Mr. Long's progress so that you wouldn't miss anything about your client.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Dumont.
So he needs to continue seeing Ms. Ford with counseling and benefit from that, and then continue with his recommendations from his psychological.
Yes,
But you don't see any risk of harm at this point for unsupervised visitation.
I do not.
Okay. What other progress or barriers are there before the children can be reunified?
There have been some concerns regarding Ms. Hardy's mood dysregulation this reporting period, so we want her to continue participating in services and showing us stability and making sure that her services and treatment through Trinity Health are also stable. Because we still don't have an explanation for what led the children to come into care, just making sure that they have gained appropriate parenting skills and show us that they're parenting appropriately and safely through visits, and that they're working towards their goals in therapy and through their psychological evaluations.
No other questions. Thank you.
Ms. Underwood, any questions of this witness regarding Mr. Long's progress?
I have no questions. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Tipton, would you like to lead us through any testimony regarding mom?
Yes. In regards to Ms. Hardy, how has she been in regards to her compliance to her treatment plan?
Ms. Hardy has been participating in individual counseling with Ms. Ford. Ms. Ford did express some concerns earlier in the reporting period about some mood dysregulation that she had seen and that she reported had occurred in front of the children on a couple of occasions. But Ms. Ford provided an update just recently that was very positive, that stated that she is working with Ms. Hardy on certain things in therapy, like finding purpose and focusing on staying consistent, working on how her anxiety affects her mood, and that therapy with both parents is going very well and that they're making progress. Ms. Hardy also completed the Orchard Supportive Visitation Program successfully this reporting period. That worker reports that both parents completed all lessons and did a pre and post assessment. That worker reports that both parents were forthcoming about areas where they struggled as parents and that they were receptive to feedback provided and would use recommendations that she gave as well. Ms. Hardy is also receiving Suboxone treatment through Trinity Health. We just recently received records on October 16th from Trinity Health, and we did have concerns about 2 screens that were positive for substances other than her prescribed Suboxone. She did have dental work done and was prescribed a pain medication for that, but there is one that we're unsure of why it was positive for morphine in addition to Suboxone. And then there were a couple of incidents this reporting period involving law enforcement where Ms. Hardy and her mother got into an argument, and Ms. Hardy became dysregulated while they were at Walmart and police had to be called. So that is a concern too, because that's not something we've seen throughout the case, but it seems like the emotional dysregulation has, I guess, regulated since August, September, because we've got a more positive report from Ms. Ford that was just received 2 days ago.
And there's also in the court report packet, there was a police contact on August 12th, 2025. You're not talking about that particular contact.
No, I'm not. That report was found when we were trying to find a report from the incident that occurred at Walmart. But the report that we included was sent to us from River Raisin Township. And it describes an incident where Miss Hardy was at someone's home and her father found her at that home and was not happy about it because he is a past drug user. So it was really like a trespassing civil dispute. And nothing came of that.
But it looks like, according to the report, that the Miss Hardy's father removed her license plate so she couldn't.
Yes, it appeared that he was very upset that she was there and accused the individual there of selling her pills, even though it was from years prior. So I just think that he was upset to find her there. But when we were searching for a police report for the Walmart incident, that is one that we found. We were not made notified of any incident, but that is the police report we found from that same day.
Okay. In regards to the drug screens, the court it required Ms. Hardy to submit more drug screens more than once a month. Was that able to be accomplished?
So that was discussed at the last hearing. However, there was nothing in the order about increasing drug screens. We've maintained the twice per month drug screening expectation. Ms. Hardy has screened twice per month, several of the months, but then there were a couple of months this reporting period where she only screened once. So I am looking for some clarification and guidance on how often Ms. Hardy should be screening, and if she prefers urine or blood screens, which the urine screens are done at Trinity Health, and has not wanted to do forensic fluid screens, which we use for a contract with the state of Michigan. So we are looking for clarification on drug screens in general.
Do you have a recommendation as to how often, like once a week, drug screens that be appropriate in this
We would
case?
recommend once a week.
Once a week, okay. And you're looking for an order for Ms. Hardy to submit the screens to forensic fluids?
Either that or specify just how frequently she should be screening so we can make sure that's happening. I don't know if the court has a preference on if she's doing urine screens or forensic fluids or a mixture. I think we're flexible, but we definitely would like some guidance in that area.
Okay. And in regards to the recommendations for the psychological, is Ms. Hardy complying with those recommendations?
Yes.
Okay. And is it still your recommendation that the permanency goal for Ms. Hardy be reunification?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. I don't think so.
Okay, Ms. Dumont, any additional questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Thompson, questions for this witness?
Thank you. Yes. With regard to Ms. Hardy, you indicated that she's participating in an individual counseling, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And do you have an understanding if she's engaging and benefiting from that counseling at this time?
She is definitely engaged, and I do believe that we are starting to see benefit based on Ms. Ford's most recent report that we received via email.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that last. We received
Via email.
via email. Okay. And that was just recently?
Yes, just 2 days ago on 10/19.
Okay. And how often is she attending therapy?
Weekly.
Okay. And you indicated that both parents completed the orchard lessons, all lessons with that, correct?
Correct.
And how long is that, or I guess what's involved in that program?
It's a 16-week program where once per week, the supportive visitation worker will provide a lesson on a different topic of parent education or address any concerns observed during parenting time that they've observed or provide feedback. And then the supportive visitation worker also supervises a parenting time visit.
Okay. And then you indicated that they completed both the pre and the post program testing, correct?
Correct.
And am I correct in that when you do posts, you kind of gauge whether or not the parents have, gained the skills that are designed to kind of be taught during this program?
Correct.
And do you have any idea what the post testing or the post evaluation showed with regard to Miss Hardy?
Yes, and we actually received the termination report with those scores after we submitted the first court report. I did print copies today if we wanted to provide it to everyone, but I did review the scores and they stayed, they either increased from average to above average in several of the areas, and this goes for both parents because their scores were very similar, or stayed about the same. I think there was one area for Miss Hardy and Mr. Long where they went from above average from their pre-test to then average at their post-test. But I'm not sure I'm not sure what area that was in because I don't have the assessment in front of me.
Okay. But at the end of the day, the termination report indicates that they successfully completed that course, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And then you've indicated with regard to Miss Hardy's, I guess, mood, and you said previously she was dysregulated, but she appears to be addressing that over the last couple of months. Is that correct?
Yes, we've gotten less reports of dysregulation and we haven't seen dysregulation. So I would hope that means that she's gaining benefit from her therapy with Miss Ford.
Okay. And as far as the psychological and her treatment with Miss Ford, are you aware, do you know if Miss Ford was provided a copy of the psychological?
I believe that she was. Miss Latour would have been the one, and I see Miss Ford nodding yes. So yes, she was.
Okay, all right. Are there any additional, other than continuation of her therapy with Miss Ford, and then obviously and the drug testing, are there any additional services at this time that you're asking Miss Hardy to do?
Miss Ford, when we met for our last family tea meeting in September, I don't have the date in front of me. Miss Ford did recommend a psychiatric evaluation for Miss Hardy for medication management. And I'm not sure if that's still the recommendation. I'm sure we'll hear from Miss Ford, but that would be the only additional service if that's recommended by the therapist.
Okay.
That would be asking.
And I apologize because I may have missed it, and I apologize if I am restating or re-asking a question. What were your recommendations with regard to parenting time with regard to Miss Hardy?
We feel comfortable based on the progress that we have seen and the positive reports from the supportive visitation worker moving towards some unsupervised if the court will allow it. Starting slow at first and making sure things go okay and expanding from there as long as visits are going well and there are no concerns.
Okay. I have nothing further.
Ms. Underwood?
I noticed that your report indicated that there's still some animosity between placement and the department with respect to the children being in care at all. Is that impeding or impacting this case in any way?
I don't think it's impeding the case. No, it's just, it's always been that they don't agree with the reasons for removal or don't believe that the reasons for removal are true.
Okay. And have the incidences with Miss Hardy and her parents with the police contact, were either of those instances in front of the minor children?
I don't think the incident that occurred in the individual's home with the report that's attached with this court report, the children were not there. I don't know if they were present when the police had to be called to Walmart.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Do you know how often Ms. Hardy is testing for Trinity Health?
So according to the records we've received, it hasn't been super consistent, either twice per month or once per month is what we've received.
Is that in addition to the testing that she has completed for your agency?
She has not completed any testing for us.
Okay. Does Trinity provide any accountability for misuse of the Suboxone treatments or instances like what you discovered with additional substances that show up on a drug test?
I'm not sure what that looks like. We can ask to speak to the doctor or the treating physician directly, but it was discussed, the positive screen was discussed during her visit because she goes monthly for like just check-ins. So it was discussed that way.
When was the positive screen?
The positive screen that was also positive for morphine was on May 29th. And then there was one that was also positive for oxycodone on July 28th. Then there were some also positive for benzodiazepines, but Ms. Hardy does have a prescription for Klonopin, so that would explain that.
All right, would you pass on to Ms. Latour? We'd like to make sure that the Trinity Health providers, and maybe this will be taken care of with a psychiatric evaluation as well, but those two medications being prescribed together, what, if any, impact that? I mean, I want to make sure Trinity knows that the Suboxone is in addition to a benzo and then vice versa.
Yes, yeah, we can follow up with them.
All right, any redirect or questions based on my questions, Mr. Tipton?
Thank you. In regards to the children, are you asking for anything in addition by way of court orders for them?
Nope, not at this time.
Okay, they're doing well in the.
Yeah, they're doing well. All of their needs are met. We don't have any concerns about their well-being.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Monk? When you indicated, you had said that they, when you responded to the question with regards to, I believe, Ms. Hardy's parents in the department, that's who you were referring to with stating the reason coming into care, is that right?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Thompson, any other questions?
Yep, just one with regard, you indicated previously, so there were two positive tests, one in May 28th, and you said one in July, correct?
Correct.
And with regard to either of those, you had testified previously that she had some dental work and had a prescription for that. Were either of those involved with regard to that?
I'm not sure which date that would have been for. When asked about the positive screen on May 29th, during her monthly visit at Trinity, she reported that she had had a poppy seed bagel. So I don't believe it was for that date. And she believed the poppy seed bagel had caused that positive.
Okay, I have nothing further.
Ms. Underwood?
I have no additional questions. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. May I return to your seat? Well, Mr. Tipton, I know you had deferred requesting admission on the reports.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm requesting that the reports that be admitted.
Any objections?
No objection.
No objection.
None.
Thank you. They are received as part of the file. Any other witnesses, Mr. Tipton?
Would you call Michelle Ford?
Okay, she has been sworn. Thank you, Deputy Ames. You may proceed, Mr. Tipton, whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Ms. Ford. You're the therapist for both Ms. DeLong and Ms. Hardy.
Correct.
And let's start with Ms. Hardy. You indicated that initially you had some concerns regarding her emotional stability or emotional dysregulation. Is that still an issue for you?
I'm not seeing that in the sessions or when I see Aaliyah for her session. I think a lot of that comes her defensiveness. It comes from defensiveness of just like what's going on in her understanding and just her lack of confidence and just some of her self-esteem stuff. And so we've been talking a lot about like when we feel a certain way, you know, how we can express ourselves or even taking that deep breath because they're part of the reasons one of the things I had talked about like with getting her evaluated was because with ADHD, oftentimes that impulse, you have a very short time between what you think and what you say. And so we've really talked about like taking that deep breath and working on that. And I have seen a definite improvement with Robin in doing that.
Okay, and what goals are you covering for Robin in her therapy?
To be able to emotionally regulate herself as well as hold herself accountable for, when we make mistakes or, we might not communicate, as well as like, I'm not allowing her anxiety to affect her every single day. That often is something that happens is where, when she has anxiety, it's very crippling and then we can't get moving. And so we worked on having like a purpose each day and having 3 things to do each day. And she's been doing really well with that.
Okay, and she's attending all of her sessions with no unexcused absences?
Yeah. The only time is there's ever a schedule mishap is either if like the kids are sick or if, she doesn't have a ride. I tried to adjust that with telehealth for her.
Okay, thank you. In regards to Mr. Long, what goals are you covering for him in individual therapy?
To be able to express his feelings in and being okay with his feelings. So be able to express his feelings not only to Robin, but be able to do more gentle parenting with the kids and talk to the kids and at an appropriate age level. And really just educating him too, just about anxiety and as far as it goes to with Robin and how to be a good partner with someone who suffers from that. So it's a lot of it is just discussing his feelings, his childhood, and being comfortable with that. So
Okay, and he's attended all of his sessions with no excused absences?
correct.
Okay. You also the therapist for Aaliyah?
Yes.
Okay, and what goals have been covered with Aaliyah?
When she first came into therapy, we really talked about like just having her understand or being able to cope through some of the things that are going on with the changes. But recently what we've kind of changed to is just appropriate behaviors. She is definitely a spicy little girl, so she sometimes doesn't like the word no. So we talk about like some consequences and behavior modifications, and she's doing really well. She's definitely a smart cookie, so she knows she definitely knows how to sometimes work her magic to get it. So we have really just been like, if we do this, this is going to be the consequences. And so it's really just about her making better choices when she gets really upset.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. I have nothing further. Thank you.
Any questions, Ms. Devon?
Ms. Ford, do you have any concerns with the agency having discretion for unsupervised parenting time with the kids and Mr. Long?
Do I have any concerns with the agency be having discretion whether, are you asking me, I'm sorry, are you asking me if I am okay with him having unsupervised visits? Is that?
Right, based on the information that you have and the progress he's making with regards to his psychological recommendations, what are your thoughts on unsupervised parenting?
Oh, yeah, no, I think that would be good. I have absolutely no concerns whatsoever with Mr. Long.
Okay, and do you think Aaliyah would benefit from that as well?
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Okay, thank you. I have nothing further.
Okay, questions, Ms. Thompson? If I could just remind everyone, we are on YouTube this morning, so if you could try to avoid using the names of the children directly, that would be appreciated.
All right, and the same question with regard to AL. Do you have, well, I guess both minor children, RL and AL, do you have concerns about moving towards unsupervised visitation between Miss Hardy and the children?
No, I don't have any concerns.
All right, and do you think, well, you work with AL, do you believe that she would benefit from unsupervised visitation?
Absolutely.
All right, and then with regard to, I just want to clarify and make sure you have reviewed Ms. Hardy's psychological evaluation.
Correct.
Okay, and so you've gone over those recommendations, is that correct?
Yes.
And are those the things that you are working on with Ms. Hardy at this time?
Yes. Yes, we are.
Okay, and is she engaging in your services?
Yes. Yes, definitely she is.
Okay, and do you believe she's benefiting, and do you see her benefiting from your services?
Yes, I do.
All right. Have you had the opportunity to see or observe her taking your, I guess, counseling, the therapy, and utilizing that in her parenting with AL?
Yes, I have.
Do you have any examples of that at all?
Yeah, so they everybody comes in as a family before AL's session, and so we always have like a mini kind of family meeting about what's working, what's not working, what adjustments we have to make through the behavioral plan. And she has talked about how like Robin has talked about how, you know, like she has seen like her not being consistent with, you know, A, B, or C, kind of like it kind of confuses AL. And so she's been doing much better following that behavioral plan as well as the placement holder. And so I have definitely seen that, especially setting boundaries with AL within in my office and just, you know, things that she's told me at home. So yes, I have seen it when she's able to set boundaries when AL wants to be spicy.
All right. And do you have any other than, so you're recommending a psychiatric evaluation, that's for to determine if any medications would be helpful for Ms. Long or Ms. Hardy?
Yes, and the I suggested that she go see either a psychiatrist or a nurse practitioner that has more understanding of mental health medications than just her primary care, because I wanted her to get screened for ADHD. She has been on ADHD medications in the past, but never really got a formal diagnosis that was prescribed by her primary care. And I just really encouraged her to get that testing done because it's good for her to have an understanding of like, you know, what ADHD is, but then also too, when you have unmedicated ADHD, it can be very difficult to do these everyday things that she's like part of our goal. I think it just would give her better understanding of where, you know, mental health wise, where she's at. And I believe it has to come from, you know, someone who has that background, not necessarily your primary care doctor.
Okay. Are there any other than that, with regard to the psychiatric evaluation, and I would assume you would recommend continued therapy with yourself?
Yeah, no, I don't have any other recommendations. Nope.
Okay. All right. I have nothing further.
Ms. Underwood, any questions?
Thank you. Good morning, Miss Ford. What would you say AL's knowledge is of this case, as far as how much does she really know about what's going on?
Really, honestly, that she just can't go home right now. You know, it hasn't been specifics like why she can't go home. It's just that right now, she can't go home.
Okay. Do you believe that she's able, with the tools that you're providing her, able to cope with that and still manage to maintain that bond with her parents?
Yeah, definitely. I think it helps that they do have a lot of parenting time and that they are very involved in her therapy. So that's really good. And so when she sees those discussions between like when we're talking about the behavioral plan, because I actually, when we did the behavioral plan, actually Aaliyah is the one who picked her consequences. Because I believe that they have to have skin in the game. And so it's really funny how she like picked much harsher consequences. I'm like, well, let's back it down. So she's very much involved of like, when I do this behavior, this is what I think I should lose, or I should not have any TV time or any tablet time. So she's involved with that. And that's discussed as a family when we do that plan.
Thank you very much. I don't have any further questions.
Okay. Ms. Ford, do you have a copy of the trauma assessment completed for AL?
I do.
Okay, great. So I noticed some of your testimony did address like some boundary setting and some other things that were also flagged in the trauma assessment. Would you say that your work with the parents and the child are addressing both the concerns and the psychological as well as the results of the trauma assessment?
Yes, I am. Yep.
Thank you. All right, any questions based on my questions or any other questions for this one?
I have mine.
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Thompson?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you so much for your time and your testimony, Ms. Ford.
Okay, thank you.
Excuse me, Your Honor. Since the last family team meeting, she's actually been going.
Okay,
every
can you
Monday.
talk with your attorney first to,
Oh, sorry.
because right now we're looking for Mr. Tipton to call his next witness, and so if you'd like to testify, I'm sure that'll be fine, but you just might have to wait your turn.
Oh, sorry.
Mr. Tipton, any other witnesses?
No other witnesses, thank you.
Ms. Dumont?
Your Honor, I don't have any witnesses. I did send Ms. Thompson an email with regards to something that Ms. Hardy wanted to bring to the court's attention.
Oh, thank you. All right, Ms. Thompson?
I did have, just one second, I hadn't been checking my email.
Sorry.
Okay, I guess I would call my client for,
Ms. Robin Hardy,
just-
coming up to your witness stand. You have been sworn. You remain under oath. Thank you. Okay, Ms. Thompson, whenever you're ready.
thank you. Ms. Hardy, do you recall when we had the last family team meeting?
Yes,
And do you know when that was approximately?
probably like a month ago. maybe.
Okay. And since that time, how often have you been drug testing?
Every week.
Okay, and that's with the treatment center, the Suboxone Treatment Center?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Yes, yes.
Okay, all right, I have nothing further.
Any questions, Mr. Tipton?
No questions, thank you.
Ms. Dumont?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Underwood?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Hardy, were you, I see some notes in one of the reports, and so I'm just gonna ask you to clear this up. So it looks like there's some notes that indicate that you may have been potentially redirected to the emergency department rather than while you were en route to jail in August. Can you tell me about what happened that day?
I never went to the emergency room. I know Megan texted me and asked me about it, and I cleared up that I never went to emergency room or anything. It just, I'm not sure where that came from.
Were you arrested in August?
Yeah,
And what were you arrested for?
like the serving piece or something like that, I think.
Was that out of, like, so what happened?
I just kind of lost my cool at Walmart and stuff, and I just didn't regulate myself right that day.
Are you facing any criminal charges? as a
No, they
result?
dropped it and I got released.
Okay. Did you address that, what happened with your counselor?
Yeah, we discussed and everything and kind of made a plan of, how to regulate myself and handle those situations when I get dysregulated. She kind of said that.
Do you currently have a psychiatrist?
We are working on it. I just got to switch my insurance because the psychiatrist didn't take my insurance, so.
I see that you have some medications. Who's doing your prescriptions right now?
Just my primary care doctor. That's why we want to kind of get an actual diagnosis, because I don't know if he's actually, like, he gave me a diagnosis, but not, I want a better one, I guess. like from one that actually handles like those cases.
And is your primary care physician aware of the work that you're doing with Trinity that involves Suboxone?
Yes,
And has he sort of cleared you essentially for using the prescriptions that he's giving you along with the Suboxone?
yes, they know.
And what about Trinity? Does
Yes.
Trinity know about the medications you're getting from your primary care
Yes.
physician?
Yeah, they both know. I had to sign like release forms so they could talk to each other or whatever they do.
That's great. Has either provider expressed any concerns with mixing those medications or the amount of medications that you're using?
No.
Thank you for answering my question. Okay, any questions based on my questions?
No, Your Honor.
No.
Thank you for your testimony.
Thank you.
You may return to your seat. Any other witnesses today, Ms. Thompson?
No.
Ms. Underwood, anyone you'd like us to hear from?
Your Honor, I did have just one question for Miss Hardy. It was just, were the children present when she was arrested?
Sorry, could you repeat that? I was letting her know she doesn't have to make the lap back to the witness stand.
Sure. I was just wondering whether the children were present when she was arrested.
They were in the car not knowing what was going on.
Okay, thank you. No further questions.
All right, comments in closing, beginning with Mr. Tipton.
Thank you, Your Honor. I support to make reasonable efforts findings. Find that it's still contrary to the welfare of children to return to the parents. Both parents are working on a treatment plan. Some progress has been made. Mr. Long is further along in his compliance in regards to Ms. Hardy, but they're both making progress. In regards to, there are some concerns regarding the police contact with Ms. Hardy at the Walmart, even though there was no charges brought, she was arrested, the kids were present. And also as the police reports reflect in Rising Township regarding her father's concern of being around someone who was alleged to be a drug dealer, somebody named Jim, going to his house, being upset that his daughter is there. There were some issues with some emotional regulation, but it seems like that's gotten better in the past couple of months, according to a therapist. Both mom and dad are participating in therapy sessions, no missed therapy sessions. Both AL and RL are doing well in their placements. The department's not asking for anything in addition. By way of court orders in regards to them. As far as the drug screens, we're asking the court to order them to start to participate in weekly random drug screens. In regards to the permanency goal, we ask that it still remain reunification at this time, and that the agency has discretion for unsupervised parenting time. As Ms. Beach indicated, they would start slowly with the unsupervised parenting time. I believe that's all we're asking by way of court orders, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Comments, Mr. Mott?
Your Honor, we would just ask for another standard review period. Mr. Long is compliant with all of his services and will continue his counseling. Ms. Ford, who's also working on the recommendations from the psych eval. We would just ask as well for the agency to have the discretion to do unsupervised visitation, as we do think, based on Ms. Ford's testimony as well, that it is in their best interest.
Comments, Ms. Thompson?
Thank you, Your Honor. I would also indicate that I believe that Ms. Hardy has engaged in and benefited from the services provided by the department, specifically with regard to the therapy and treatment for the family, as well as herself with Ms. Ford. It's clear that Ms. Ford has reviewed the psychological as well as the trauma assessment for the minor child AL, and that she's incorporating those things into her therapy, and she herself is indicating that Ms. Hardy has engaged and benefited, specifically able to provide us with some examples as how she's incorporating those therapy and those lessons into parenting with the minor child. I would also indicate based on Ms. Hardy's testimony on the court's questioning, that she recognizes those periods of dysregulation. She recognizes that Ms. Ford has given her some tools on how to essentially, for lack of a better term, to de-escalate from that and be able to regulate her emotions, and she's able to incorporate those. And it at least appears that there haven't been any issues or any reports from that. I guess I don't know what to say about that. That second police report. I mean, it sounds like dad filed something, nothing came of it. I mean, there's no, further issues from that, nothing from the police. It was just a contact, in my opinion, rather than a quote unquote incident, with regard to, moving forward in this particular case. As far as the recommendations of the department, we would agree Ms. Hardy's already seeking out and working with her insurance company to figure out an appropriate doctor, not just her primary care physician, but someone who might be able to do more testing and treatment with regard to her ADHD, and make sure, I would presume, make sure that as the court's concerns are, any issues with medications, would be addressed. So we would request the court to follow the recommendations, including discretion to move towards unsupervised parenting time. Thank you.
Ms. Underwood.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm glad to see that progress is being made by both parties and both parents in this case. I'm pleased to hear from Ms. Ford and her testimony regarding all the parties, and specifically AL. I think that the child is benefiting from that service, and I hope that she continues to do so moving forward. I think it's appropriate as well to work toward unsupervised visitations, considering the goal is still reunification. So it sounds as though the therapist believes it's safe and appropriate. I would agree at this time to start at least phasing that in and seeing how it goes. I would also agree with the department to maybe have some random screening for Ms. Hardy, considering the fact that there were a couple of positive screens during this reporting period that we weren't made aware of until just recently. Other than that, I would just ask for a standard review as well, and ask that the children remain in their current placement as it is the safest and least restrictive. Thank you.
Thank you. The court finds all interested parties were given notice for purposes of today's review and permanency planning hearing. I am happy to find both parents actively engaged on the upswing and benefit from their services today. So keep up the good work. The goal will certainly remain reunification, and I will grant requests to expand visitation to include unsupervised. Ms. Ford is doing obviously very excellent work with the family that couldn't be accomplished without the investment of the family members. So I look forward to the developments in the next report period. I'd like to see Ms. Robin Hardy continue to demonstrate sobriety in the next report period, and both of you continue to demonstrate increased progress in your skill sets and stability. And we'll look at the case again in 3 months. I certainly do find the agency in compliance with their obligations. I am going to grant the additional request to incorporate weekly drug testing for mom as another form of accountability, as well as another way for her to demonstrate her continued sobriety. So I don't have a preference as far as what type of drug testing is completed in Ms. Beach. So whatever is convenient for your agency in order to assist in that aspect of Ms. Hardy's sobriety is fine with me.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you to all of our advocates and our guardian ad litem who also are in compliance with their obligations to the case and the family. And I will offer to you a 90-day review, which takes us into January. Keep trying to put things on. I'm okay, so I have to mark that up on my calendar. All right, so I have the morning of Tuesday the 13th at 10 a.m. Is everyone available at that time?
At 10 a.m. Your Honor, I do have a trial in Oakland at 1:30, but if the court, I understand I appeared via Zoom today, it was not my intent, but if the court would permit me to appear via Zoom, I could do the 10:30 as well as my trial in Oakland.
Oh, it would be 10 a.m.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, I have a bench trial in Wayne County. It starts at 10:30.
All right, well, we won't commit you for that then. How about the 20th? I have 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock the following Tuesday.
Yes,
I
I could do the 20th.
can do 11 o'clock.
Okay, 11 a.m. on January 20th will be our next review and permanency planning hearing. It does look like if everything stays on track and you both remain more invested in your services like you are, that reunification is in your future, which is great. So keep up the good work. Unless there's any questions, that's all for today.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.